Mr. Tariq Aziz, I think
Let me say this thing now, very simple. One minute, give me 1 second for this one. Nawaz Sharif is the leader. He is the elected leader of Pakistan. And as you remember, way back in '93, he rather gave up his prime ministership than when he said that he will not take any dictation from anybody. He will take the lead. He will dictate on what terms we have with India. And he has said many a time that all he wants is good relations with India. Sir, and he'll do everything in his power to make sure that there are good relations with India.
Sir, I don't want to argue with that. You're a man of tremendous experience and sagacity. But your experience will tell you that, for example, different envoys, Chris Alexander was a Canadian envoy to Afghanistan between 2003 and 2005. And he had said the Pakistani army is sponsoring large-scale guerrilla covert war through Afghanistan proxies. These are not my words, it's not an Indian estimate. Vinod Mehta, Meghnad Desai wants to come into the debate. Hartosh is there. Let's get everyone in. Yes, please.
Vinod Mehta. I think I speak for many people in India who congratulate Mr. Nawaz Sharif for taking up Mr. Modi's invitation. He did this in the face of stiff opposition.
Point taken.
And he took many risks. But if he has come all the way here, then we must try and get something substantial here.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, if Mr. Nawaz Sharif comes here or Mr. Modi goes there, so we can the trade that you talk of, sir, the trade cannot progress in isolation. It has to progress in talks.
Well taken. There has to be an atmosphere for it.
I think if you could say that Nawaz Sharif cannot give guarantee that terror attacks won't happen against India, then we have to settle on a minimal agenda. What can he guarantee to India, which India can take, and then we can proceed further?
Absolutely.
Because if he's not in charge of his own country, let us know what he's in charge of, and let us extend that.
Any government needs basic political equity in order to be able to take a process. You look at what happened to Manmohan Singh. He had all the interest, he couldn't take it forward. Because each time he moved forward, there was a stumbling block. I just want to take the two political parties
as someone who headed the anti-terror group, let me just mention, I think the problem, Lord Desai, is not the terror attack. If a terror attack is not traceable to official or semi-official groups in Pakistan, it is understandable that they are not responsible. But when the track is going directly there and they say, no, it isn't, that is where the problem arises.
Okay, let's get Bani and Salman Sos in, please. Let's get Bani and Salman Sos to hear what the political parties expect. Is there some kind of a consensus? General Malik, I'm coming to you right in a minute. Bani Tripathi and Salman Sos, our guests in Pakistan are hearing you, and so are our viewers across the country. How much do you expect hard talk to come, at least from Modi's side tomorrow? Bani, let's start with you.
Arnab, let's first begin by actually congratulating Mr. Nawaz Sharif and the step which has been taken in the right direction to accept Modi ji's invitation and be present today. I was there at the swearing-in ceremony, and I must say, with a very congratulatory note, that when Mr. Sharif walked into the audience, there was jubilation, people clapped, and I could see smiles on their faces. So, for me, the BJP and for Narendra Bhai, it's a small but a right step in a direction. As Mr. Raza said, another C is communication. Let us not speculate on how big or how small the discussion will be tomorrow. It's probably the right step towards a direction to communicate further, to have cordial communication, and the fact that Mr. Sharif came and also heads of state of SAARC countries were present today at the swearing-in also is insignia of the multilateralism that the BJP and the government will probably propagate. Arnab, if we will turn pessimistic, yes, our histories have not been very right.
Vani, why are you today?
Arnab, just let me complete. Just 3 seconds.
I think the burden of power comes.
Just let me complete.
Comes with a heavy price on your strategic direction.
Progress does not love misery. Progress loves peace. Shattered economies We have been seeing shattered economies in the region because of violence, because of terrorism.
Well,
that is true. But yet,
I'm just getting our guests from Pakistan a flavor of how people are thinking. Salman Soos, please. And then we'll open up. No, they'll feel very reassured with this line. VP Malik wants to come in before that. Salman Soos, with your permission. VP Malik wanted to come in before that. I'm going to get you back as well. VP Malik.
I also want to come in.
While we all welcome the talks that are going to be held tomorrow, and I'm sure they will be in a very cordial atmosphere, I believe that diplomacy means engagement. That's the crux of diplomacy. But then we have also got to take into account the ground realities, what has been happening for the last 1 year, and I think it will be correct for each other, both Pakistan and India, to exchange some notes on the ground realities which are bothering each other. Now, with due respect to Mr. Tariq Aziz, let me just mention to you people here that today, when the Afghanistan president gave an interview to one of our news channels, he has pointedly said that Lashkar-e-Taiba was involved in Herat assault. He has mentioned the name of the terror outfit, and he has also said that this is an information which has come to them from Western sources. But he was quite categoric about the source of this terror attack. So I don't think one can really ignore, as I said, that this will be paged now for both leaders to go into details later on. Tomorrow I don't expect that people will start shouting at each other. I'm sure that it will not happen. They will be cordial, they must be cordial, but some of these important aspects will be paged tomorrow for each other.
That's what we are saying, Tariq Azim, that these issues cannot be ducked. Brigadier Hussain, you realize this, that these issues cannot be ducked by only saying, let's get the atmosphere right.
Nobody has said that you just duck these issues. In fact, I'm saying otherwise. I'm saying that we have to face these issues right in the eyes, and we got to resolve these issues. And same is happening in the issue, like say Kashmir. We cannot just say that Kashmir is not an issue. We cannot say the water is not an issue. We cannot say Siachen is not an issue. All these issues must be discussed. As I've said earlier, war is no longer an option. Both are nuclear states. The only way we can resolve these issues is through talks. So let's hope tomorrow's talks will lead to talks, meaningful talks, and resume the dialogue that has been lying pending for a long time. If we can just start tomorrow agreeing that we are going to talks, I think we can get somewhere.
Fine, but you know the biggest stumbling block for talks, Tariq Azim, has been your inaction in the 26/11 trial, for example. Right? And the latest hearing in the trial was scheduled, Mr. Azim and Brigadier Javed Hussain, for May 21st, 3 months after India had been assured that the trial would be concluded in a couple of months. Pakistan has not kept to its own timelines and deadlines on this. Moreover, the delay in the trial is also due to the fact that the prosecution has claimed it as a threat on its life and has sought that the trial be shifted to another location. So from a conclusion point of view, this trial is going on endlessly. Now, Mr. Azim and to Brigadier Javed Hussain in Karachi, all I'm saying is these are hard issues. Let tomorrow's meeting happen. But these are the issues which the people of India want genuine movement on. If this overall relationship is to move forward, that's a limited point that I'm making to both of you gentlemen. I'm sure you know that this is a fact that Manmohan Singh also had to face.
Yes, we agree with you. These are the issues that we have got to address.
I'm coming in, Arnab. Let me say that let not these terror groups, so-called terror groups, hold the relationship between, the development of relationship between India and Pakistan hostage. You have to think big, think on strategic terms. Presently, you are indulging in tactical maneuvering. But if you see the big picture, hold on, let me finish. You asked too many questions. Let me finish. There are issues, as Mr. Tariq Azim has pointed out. Chief, the #1 issue is Kashmir. But you keep saying that Kashmir is an integral part of India. It doesn't become an integral part of India just because you say so. It is there on the United Nations agenda. The United Nations military observers group are present in Pakistan because India has expelled them.
So
once this issue is resolved, hold on, Arnab.
So what is the point of quarreling over a non-issue?
Accept that this is a dispute.
So what is the point of quarreling over a non-issue? Let's get Salman Soz into this debate because the point is that
hold on, Arnab. If you go by this, then there will never be any peace between India and Pakistan.
Sir, I have said this repeatedly, and I'm saying today we are not meaning to quarrel with you on these issues. But what I'm saying quite decisively, sir, is that Sharif should also expect to be told.
India must accept that Kashmir is a dispute.
Sir, Sharif,
and the resolution can be deferred.
Sir,
go for waters, go for Sir Creek, go for Siachen.
I am taking one second.
Let me hold on. Hold on, Arnab.
Brigadier Javed Hussain, now you're
let me also tell you.
You're querying the pitch.
Hold on. Let me also tell you as a former. One second. Let me also clarify this. As a former Special Forces officer of the Pakistan Army, I can tell you with a great deal of authority that the Pakistan Army and the Inter-Services Intelligence Directorate are not sponsoring any terror group. Let me make this very clear.
Sir,
no, you don't have to laugh about it.
Sir, 1 minute, I'll take that later. 1 second, sir.
Hold on.
Sir, just a minute.
The Special Forces spearheaded the operations against the Soviets in Afghanistan. They can do the same against India. But they have not. The army wants peace. Army wants resolution of disputes.
Sir,
let there be interaction between the Indian army and the Pakistan army, alternately in India and Pakistan. Not on the battlefield, but in a pleasant, harmonious atmosphere.
Brigadier, I've heard you.
Trust.
No, I've heard you.
It cannot be done overnight.
I've heard you, Brigadier, and I will take the comment of Nawaz Sharif in some time. I've heard you, Brigadier, but I just need to say a couple of things to you, sir, if you hear me out now. You see, I begin by saying today, I said, Brigadier, that I...
to hear you out.
Now, thank you, but I tell you, Brigadier, you just remember one thing. You see, what spoiled the initiatives in the past? It was your sponsor of terror and it was your ceasefire violations. I'm not even talking of what has happened in Herat. I have told you what happened in Keran. And I would also like to tell you that if Nawaz Sharif picks up the Kashmir issue, then you'll hear two answers. One is that it was, is and will be an integral part of India, Jammu and Kashmir. I don't want to reiterate that. Second, it is a bilateral issue, if at all an issue we need to resolve, and your attempts at trying to get third-party intervention on the issue will certainly not work.
No,
I want to get Hartosh in and Salman Soz as well. Salman Soz of the Congress Party, please. Yes, Salman wanted to come in. Salman Soz of the Congress Party. Sir, hear it out here. Because as far as, sir, you can set the atmospherics right, but you cannot rewrite history in the way that you wish. Salman Soz from Srinagar wants to say something to you. Salman Soz.
Nor can you.
No, first,
sir, 1 minute. Sir, 1 minute.
If you
just hear him out.
Just hear this out.
Brigadier Hussain, hear the Indian views, please.
In Kashmir, 90%, more than 90% will vote for independence.
Sir, now you know, Brigadier Hussain.
Try it.
You please hear what has been said by our Indian panelists as well. Let's understand where things stand. If you say understand each other, then understand what the Indian concerns are. It's not a small concern, sir, that the man Hafiz Saeed, who goes around visiting your television studios, got 167 Indians killed in 26/11. That's not a small thing for us. So when you move on that, it's important for us to see you move on that. And Modi will certainly make that point as well to Nawaz Sharif when the time comes. Salman wants to say something. One second, Salman.
Go ahead.
Well, first we welcome Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to India. The Congress Party wants nothing but best of relations with all of our neighbors, including with Pakistan. And this has been our consistent position. But at the same time, we believe that tomorrow's meeting that the Prime Minister has with the Pakistani Prime Minister is essentially a meeting. It's a kind of a courtesy call. it's a meeting where, it can be a cordial exchange. But I'm afraid that no substantive discussions are possible at this particular time, because there are certain minimum issues that need to be resolved. And as Arnab, you've said yourself, justice to the victims of 26/11, as well as a kind of a common threat to both Pakistan and India, that is terrorism, and Pakistan has to do a lot more in that. I would also like to urge, some caution on two words that have been used here. One is chemistry, and one was 1998. On chemistry, I will just refer you to a meeting between Mr. Bush, George W. Bush, and Mr. Putin. And Mr. Bush famously said that he looked at deep in the eyes of Mr. Putin and saw his soul, and we're going to be great friends, and we know where Russia-America relations are right now. About 1998, I want to again caution that after Mr. Nawaz Sharif's visit in 1998, 4 months later, we had the Kargil War. I think we want good relations. We must have good relations. We must have brotherly relations. At the same time, we must exercise caution and take it step by step. But Pakistan has to act in a couple of areas, give us some confidence, and then we can move forward. And there is no problem because we have common interests. Economic development, poverty reduction, so much. But we have certain irreducible issues that must be addressed by Pakistan.
And I'm happy tonight that our guests from Pakistan here, both the Congress and the BJP, have a similar view on these issues. I'm going to come back to them. Small point, I'm going to take a break in 2 minutes. But before that, I think most people across India will say that even though Nawaz Sharif visits India, despite a caveat from, what is that terrorist name, Hafiz Saeed, against his departure, it does not absolve the Pakistani state from allowing Hafiz Saeed to be a free man, despite him being labeled an international terrorist. And that is what hurts. Hartosh has a point to make. Taking a break in a minute. Then we'll take the discussion forward. Hartosh.
Without getting into the rhetorics that our Pakistani panelists have, I think they have to understand the ground reality on this side in India. Despite the euphoria of the Modi victory, with all the high expectations, I think this is the one issue on which he has the least maneuvering room on. He has already defied expectations by reaching out, and Nawaz Sharif has responded. But it will take a single incident to bring back the kind of pressure we had already seen in the past government that will actually take everything back to square one.
Is that realization there, sir? Mr. Azim, is that realization there in Pakistan? A single incident.
And Arnab,
KC Singh wants to add something.
That is what they tried in Herat, because the attempt was to kidnap and hold them hostage.
What's he saying?
No, I'm saying...
He's saying something.
No, let him first hear. If a staff had been taken hostage in Herat, you would have had a running drama there while the visit was taking place.
Actors sir, do something silly.
No.
I mean, if you were to just you mentioned Hafiz Saeed, and you also mentioned that Hafiz Saeed was against Nawaz Sharif visiting India. So if he would be taking any instructions from these groups, I mean, he will not be visiting India. The very fact
we're very happy, but he's loose in your country. He's on the loose. That terrorist.
I mean,
that terrorist is on the loose.
He was arrested. No.
He's a threat to the subcontinent security, sir.
Do not ignore the facts, Arnab. Do not ignore the facts. He was arrested. He was tried. He was let off by the courts. Even today, the state government is in the higher court appealing against that letting off.
Sir, that is that's legality. I'll take a small break. Sir, everybody would like to see the India-Pakistan equation move, but it has to move on the spring of a certain new step that we want to see Pakistan take. I'm going to take the discussion forward. One of our panelists asked a very pertinent question. What would have happened if any members or families of the Indian consulate in Herat had been taken into a custody? Under what circumstances would Nawaz Sharif then have come to India? These are the enemies of the relationship. You need to take them on as well. We have a small comment from Nawaz Sharif. I want to play that out, exclusive to Times Now, before I take a break, and I'm back in a few minutes.
एक सवाल just come closer. Mic please this side.
Everything is going fine, and I bring you the people of Pakistan, and I think the people of both countries are very happy that I have come here So I also feel honored to be participating in this ceremony.
कल की बातचीत से क्या उम्मीद है आपकी? ये साहब
आपने सवाल पूछा था
जी कल की बातचीत के बारे में सर, क्या
आपकी एक्सपेक्टेशंस क्या है सर?
कल की बातचीत के बारे में आपने कहा कल की बातचीत कैसी रहेगी? व्यवस्था रहे शजर से उम्मीदें बाहर रख।